Hello, everybody, and welcome back to 50 Shades of Tay. I'm Taylor Gonzalez, and my guest today is the writer-director of the upcoming survival horror slasher Pitfall, which hits theaters May 29th. I am so excited to be joined by James Kondelik. James, how are you doing today?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, thank you for being here. I really appreciate your time. And I'm so excited to talk about Pitfall. But I thought maybe before we talk about the film, we could talk about the really fun event you guys have planned leading up to the release at Slasher World, which is one of my favorite places.
Yeah, I've actually never been, and I'm a big horror fan, so I'm very excited myself to just go as a fan. It's this Sunday, May 24th, between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. It's going to be myself, Randy Couture, our lead actor, Marshall Williams, going to be there. Going to be doing a meet and greet, some signing some posters and stuff. We'll have like a photo op. We'll have our hunter hanging out there to pose with fans and stuff. We'll have a few clips and possibly like a behind the scenes thing and I think probably the trailer and probably a few clips and scenes from the movie and stuff.
That's going to be so much fun. You're going to love it there. It's so nice. It's like a slasher heaven.
No, it looks amazing. So I'm like, I've always wanted to go. I have a 2.5-year-old, so I'm kind of like
Oh.
bound to home, and so I hardly get out. I think there's so many movies I have to catch up and see. It's just yeah, it's been tough.
Yeah, no,
We
I
just we just
understand.
saw Obsession recently, so I'm glad my wife and I are so stoked we got out to see a movie finally, and it happened to be a really amazing crowd pleaser of a movie that was really awesome.
Yeah, I am currently obsessed with Obsession. I can't get enough of that movie. I had the opportunity to check out Pitfall last night, and I had so much fun with it. It's
Thank
going to be
you.
another crowd-pleasing film. I think people are going to really enjoy the gore and the kills, and it's just so much fun. Where did the idea for doing Pitfall come from?
I think it came from honestly just producers telling me at a very young age because the germ of the idea was probably 15 years ago, and I was a young guy trying to figure out how to make a movie or get a movie made, and everybody was like, "Don't make anything too big. Just try to do a self-contained single location movie." Like at the time in the early 2010s, everyone was like trying to do like these single location movies and stuff. And I always found them to be boring, but there was a few I really appreciated. And 127 Hours came to mind, and Buried, and some of these more survival thrillers and stuff. But I was like, man, those movies are great and everything, but they're very punishing on the audience because I'm very claustrophobic. And I mean, that's great and everything, but it's a sustained um, punishment, like grueling punishment. And I'm like, it'd be really fun if you did one of these movies, but with kind of a bit of a slasher film. So it's a bit fun as well as unnerving and suspenseful and so on. So that's kind of where it came about. And I remember reading about these different animal traps and these pitfall traps and even used in Vietnam and stuff where they'd have these, these pit of like these pitfalls with, you drop and you fall into a deep pit and get impaled on spikes and just bleed out. So I was so surprised that I hadn't heard of a movie actually just doing that, like just having that be the premise. I'm sure it's been featured in movies and shows and stuff, but I've never seen it actually done as the main thing of the main draw of the movie. So yeah, it's kind of where it came from. And
Yeah,
it just kind
no,
of grew and evolved over time.
that's awesome. I'm glad you brought up Buried. That movie is so underappreciated. I feel like not enough people know about that movie, and it's such a great performance.
It's really incredible. I mean, and what they did with that, we were trying to emulate a little bit where they were like kind of going abstract sometimes, especially with the some of the shots or some of things that were a bit more unrealistic, but just really emphasizing how the character is feeling. But yeah, Ryan Reynolds was amazing in it. It's very underappreciated and heartbreaking, but very funny at times, thank God, because again, I'm very claustrophobic, and that's the entire movie was just in this box, and it was tough. So, I was at first very I almost did the entire movie in the pit, and I'm so glad I didn't because that would have been very much just too much reminiscent of Buried and
Yeah.
127 Hours. And so, I don't think we would have had as much fun doing all these other things and stuff with the other characters looking for our main character
Mhm.
who's trapped. So, because like in Buried, I kept wanting to cut away to these other characters looking
Right.
for Ryan Reynolds. So I'm like, it'd be fun to actually cut to, our main character's friends who are looking for him. And then they're catching on that this hunter has set up all these traps and contraptions and stuff, and they're realizing that they're now being hunted.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I just found that to be a lot more fun. So it's like it created this great dynamic to cut away to both storylines of, how's our guy doing in the pit? Oh, he's not doing so good, or he has to figure out this new problem or whatever. And then we're cutting back to our other characters that are slowly putting this together and trying to escape the hunter themselves. So
Mhm.
it's fun.
I don't want to give away too much, but there's a scene involving a centipede. Where did that idea come from?
Uh, so I mean, I like creepy crawlies in movies and stuff. Honestly, I mean, again, I've heard and read a bunch of stories from Vietnam vets and stuff where they were experiencing different critters and stuff. And in one story in particular, it was actually a giant centipede where this guy he was in this like Viet Cong like tunnel, underground tunnel, and the tunnel started to cave in, and he was trying to like climb out, but he got stuck. So like half of his upper torso was sticking out of the ground, and he was trapped. He couldn't like it was like hundreds of pounds of pressure just like weighing him down, and he couldn't move, and he was there for days. And just a bunch of weird, creepy crawlies and critters, moving along the jungle floor, crawling all over him. And I think he woke up one morning with like this giant centipede thing on his arm, like eating his arm. And so that's what I heard. Obviously, we can't have like a giant centipede thing in the Pacific Northwest. So I'm like, it'd be really great to have a centipede like start like creeping and crawling and stuff
Yeah,
and it I was so nervous about it because trying to direct insects and stuff is not the easiest or best, so we ended up definitely using some visual effects there, but like it seemed to be very effective, and certainly everybody is squirming in their seats and on the edge of their seats when that scene in particular came.
yeah,
So
definitely. That's going to be one people definitely talk about afterwards.
yeah, I'm very grateful for keeping that in. I was pressured a lot to cut it out by people, so
Oh
we
my
kept
gosh.
it.
Yeah, I'm glad you kept it. Well, Pitfall features an amazing ensemble cast, including one of my favorites, Richard Harmon. I love him. He plays Lars in the film. Can you talk a little bit about working with him on this film?
Richard was great. It's so funny because I honestly was shocked that he was interested in doing this, and this was they hadn't announced Final Destination Bloodlines yet, and come to find out, he just shot Final Destination months before our movie. And so we were all like just geeking out on set, just like tell us everything. And so he was just a dream. Like honestly, I had written him a letter because we were kind of like battling with the agents and everything, and it was looking like we weren't going to get him. And he did read for us, which was shocking because I was a fan of his work, and he came up and I saw his tape, and within seconds I knew like, oh well, this is Lars. Like immediately, this is who Lars is. And he was incredibly funny, super professional, very just amazing, even obviously as an actor, but like as a buddy, he was really great. We had a really bad day one day where we were shooting like a stunt sequence or a makeup there's we had a very short shooting schedule. It was like 18 days, and it's just not a lot of time to do this kind of movie. And so we were taking our time on this one particular sequence, and we didn't make our day. And I was feeling like crap because I'm like, well, we didn't make our day. So, what that means is the scenes you didn't pick up, you have to like push off to another day, and then that's just going to create more issues as it goes down the line. So I was feeling down about it, and everybody was leaving. We're leaving set and everything. I'm walking back to my car, and we're like crossing paths, me and Richard. And he's like, "Hey, man, good day today, see you tomorrow. And like, it was the one day I couldn't mask my despair. I was just I felt defeated and just, my tail between my legs kind of thing. And I guess he saw that and he stopped and he was like, "Hey, come here." And I walked over to him and I'm like, "Yeah." And he just gave me a big hug
Oh,
and it was really sweet. And I didn't know I needed that, but he like grabbed me by the shoulders. He looked at me and he's like, "It's gonna be okay." He's like, "Have a good day." He's like, "I'll see you tomorrow, okay?" And I'm like,
oh,
I just immediately felt better. He's a super great guy. Can't speak higher of him. Just such a great actor and person in general. So I'm very lucky to have him.
that's great to hear. Yeah, he's incredible in Final Destination's Bloodlines. He's incredible in this. Yeah, can't wait to see what he does next. Another incredible performance in this film is from Randy Couture, which is so cool that you got him to be in this film. How did that happen?
So Randy and I are actually friends.
Oh,
We had a mutual friend, and we always talked about like working together. It's just it was always like trying to find the right project and the right team at the right time. And I think I approached him about a years ago, and then when the opportunity came up again for real, like, hey, this sounds like it's actually happening. Are you still interested in this? And he's like, let me read it again one more time. It's been a while. And so I sent it to him again and he got back to me and he's like, I love this. This is great. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And so his people talked to our people and we got him. And so that was probably like the easiest get. And we so he was fantastic and obviously and super patient and again professional and cool. And obviously the stunts and the fighting and everything kind of came natural to him.
oh,
And like our he worked well with our stunt people and stuff, but there's like a few fights and action sequences that were in particular very good. He knows his way around a hatchet axe and everything very well. It was pretty fun.
oh, that is so cool. Yeah, he
And
has
and
such a presence.
Yeah, he has such a great look, but he is the nicest guy. And I told him like, I don't know why you don't play more villains. And I turned to him and I said my goal is to make you a horror icon. So
Oh,
it's not going to be easy, but I said you look at so like you look so mean and so
oh
scary
my gosh.
naturally, but he's such a nice guy when you talk to him. So and when between takes he's like massaging our actors. I think somebody like Jordan, who plays Gwen, she like cricked her neck or something
Oh,
and pulled something in her neck. And so in the trailers, I go in the makeup trailer and she's in the chair and Randy's like there, just like he's like a certified
oh,
masseuse or chiropractor or something. And so he's like, popping like people's necks and like, it's working muscles out and stuff.
wow.
Totally saving lives between scenes and taking lives on screen. So.
That is incredible. Yeah, I love your idea. We need to get him to do more slashes. We need to get him to be a horror icon. That's the goal right there. That's a dream.
I think if it does well enough, you can't keep a good slasher down. So hopefully, if the movie does well enough, hopefully we can come back for Pitfall 2. I have a great pitch for it.
Ooh,
So that both my producers and I love.
awesome.
So, fingers crossed that everybody goes to see Pitfall and hopefully we can make a sequel happen and keep Randy you know, uh tossing people into pits and chopping people up.
Yes, fingers crossed. I would love to see that. Another standout performance in the film was Alexandra, who plays Ashley. Can you talk a little bit about getting to work with her on this film as well?
Alex Esso, I've been a fan of, I think, ever since Starry Eyes. And again, it was one of those things that I hadn't thought of her for this until because this is a Canadian production, and so it was like mostly me and Randy were like the only Americans on the cast and crew. So we were looking at Canadian actors or people with dual citizenship and everything like that. So I was very unfamiliar with who we could get, and our casting director and our producers kind of presented me with like a bunch of selections and a bunch of people that they were thinking about going out to, and somebody suggested Alex Esso. I didn't know she was Canadian, and so I was like immediately, Alex, get Alex, no questions asked. It's her. Just do that, please, for the love of God. Um, so that was a very easy decision for me. But again, it's always like trying to negotiate everything. But no, I'm very lucky to have her as well. And I think the chemistry between all the actors and the characters was really incredible because we didn't do this movie kind of came together very very quickly. It was greenlit in May of 2024, I believe,
Oh,
and then we shot it August of 2024.
oh my
And
God.
so it came together very quick. And
Mm,
so we didn't do any like chemistry reads or anything. We did like maybe one read through, and we kind of were like still evolving and massaging the script a little bit and certain lines and like, oh, maybe we don't do this, maybe do that. But aside from that, prior to casting everybody, no, nobody read with each other or anything. These were all just very talented actors in their own right. So I'm very, very grateful that they all were so awesome, and Alex and Jordan became fast friends. Actually, Richard and Matt, who plays Charlie, they were already friends. I had no idea. I thought they met on set. I just learned recently that they were previously friends. And I'm like, oh, is that why your guys' chemistry was so good? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, I thought I just hit the jackpot. And but no, it was. But even Marshall with everyone else, like everybody just clicked so quickly. And yeah, very very grateful for that. But yeah, Alex's performance is uh, a really amazing one. I think we really fought to uh, get there was a couple emotional scenes that unfortunately like kept getting pushed off or we were like going into lunch and we were staying behind to get the scene right, to get another
yeah.
take or whatever. And then yeah, I mean I just really wanted to make all that right. But I mean there were times where, I mean, the actors can attest to this, that um sometimes we wouldn't have more than two takes
Mm,
to do a scene, and some of the most emotional scenes of the movie were probably like one or two takes.
mm,
And so they really all braved it and gave it their all. And poor Alex, she was I think by the end of the shoot, on her final day, she was really sick. And she was strung up on this log, the suspending log, and is raining, and it's just miserable.
oh,
She's wet and cold, and she was sick and stuff, and so we were trying to like wrap her out early to get her home,
yeah.
and she had lost her voice.
Oh my
And so
gosh.
her voice was really strained. And I'm like, in some places it kind of worked because throughout the movie they're screaming and
Yeah.
and stuff, so I'm like, it kind of worked out. So but no, and again, I just think it lent itself to, I mean, it helped her performance too, that because she was just exhausted and whatnot by the end of it. So she was
Wow.
incredible. And uh yeah, I'm trying to think of any other fun stories with her. She was just very fun and funny and very game to just rock and roll this, because I think they all were just very very, very eager to just go headfirst into this. And is a very emotional and physically demanding role, probably more than some of these other movies that they might do. I mean, she's no stranger to horror, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't think she's been strung up like this and done stunts and things like this in
That's
any of her other movies. So it was fun.
wow. Ah, that is awesome. I love the setting of this film in the woods. It's so gorgeous. I know you said it's in Canada, but where specifically was it filmed, and how did you guys find this location?
So the producers found the locations. It was just outside of Vancouver, I think in Maple Ridge,
Oh,
and there were two forests that we kind of stitched together, and one was like this guy's like private property. I think like Last of Us or something shot there.
oh,
Like we kept finding like remnants of like set or old stuff there. And it was amazing. It was just like miles of just private property forest. It was incredible. So that was really cool. And then there was uh another location. The name is escaping me right now. It's been a minute, but it was a film ranch, and so they had a bunch of forests and wooded areas and stuff, as well as like this sort of western town, this like western uh, backlot. And there was another production shooting there, like a series that had been shooting there for like quite a while. And so we were constantly like playing musical chairs and stuff. Like they would come into to our location and being like, "Hey, so this production wants to shoot in this area now. So you're gonna have to move because they have seniority. They've been shooting here for like
Dang.
10 years." And they're like, ah. So it was challenging, but I swear it's like every time we were presented with a new challenge every day, I think the scenes and the everything just got better, I think. So I call those happy accidents. Like it was so much better. Like there were just so many different places we found that we were forced into, or things that we probably wouldn't have thought of shooting at for various reasons. And then we go, oh, actually, this is going to play a lot better for lighting and just for blocking and staging the scenes and stuff. So it really worked out. So blessing in disguise.
That is awesome. Yeah, I was wondering when I was watching the film, I was like, this has to be private property, or else people hiking or people camping are going to be like, what is going on over there?
Sure. Yeah. No, yeah, it was a lot. I mean, we had a lot of stuff going on. We had atmosphere, we had fog, we had fire, we had rain,
Yeah.
we were doing stunts, wire work, makeup, blood, just everything. So yeah, I think if it was in an actual park and stuff, that would have been more challenging.
Yeah.
Uh, but we lucked out with the locations that we had. Shout out to my producers, Wyson Chang and Alex Bogomolov and Panda Pix. They were fantastic. So very, very grateful for them and picking up and green lighting this movie. It was no easy movie to make, that's for sure. I think everybody reading it is like, oh, this is going to be a breeze, and it's like, no, no. You start breaking it down, you start getting into logistics of stunts and the sets and everything. Oh my God, it becomes a nightmare. So, but very great, very grateful we braved it and we made it. So I don't know
Yeah.
how sometimes. Some days I look back and I'm like, it's about to come out. And I'm like, how did we get here? This was impossible. Like this was such a crazy movie. This movie should have easily been a 30-day shoot or 25-day shoot. And we did it in 18 days. I have no idea
Crazy.
how we did that.
Oh my gosh. Have you guys considered doing like a screening in the woods or like at an Airbnb in the middle of the woods?
That's a great idea. I think we should totally do that. I think that would be actually that's a great idea.
I would love that. That would
Um,
be so fun. And you can make s'mores and just, I don't know, make like a whole event out of
yeah.
it.
Yeah, do a whole like camp out. Yeah, a Pitfall camp out kind of screening. That'd be amazing, actually. That's a great idea.
All right, let's pitch it. Let's pitch it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great idea. I'll talk to them about
Yeah,
that.
and
That's
then
that's a fantastic idea.
there could be a sunset hike, and after Randy could give everyone massages when they're sore from hiking all day. I'm
I
sure he
think
would love
we have
that.
to we have to pay him extra for his masseuse expertise. But yeah, no, that'd be great. That'd be
Yeah.
great. I would love that. And yeah, let's see.
All right.
I've been trying to get I have some friends that know Joe Bob Briggs and Dinah Prince from the last drive-in. And so I've been trying to really reach out to them because I'm big fans, but I'm really trying to like figure out something like, maybe there's a event they could host or introduce or do a Q&A or something. But I think doing a camp out thing sounds like up their alley. So I think that would
Yeah.
be a good idea.
Oh my God, that'd be incredible. I would love
Or
that.
even in an old drive-in near like around a wooded area or something. That'd be
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that'd be such a fun evening.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
So I
Really.
have to ask, since this was shot in the woods in the nighttime and it's a horror film, did anything scary or unusual or spooky happen while you guys were on set that you didn't expect?
I don't know about creepy. I mean, it was always creepy kind of being out in the woods and stuff. But we did feel kind of safe because we were on private property. But there were times where I was often slipping or falling and,
Oh,
and I was the only clumsy one kind of like twisting my ankle or slipping down a hill or something. But no, I mean there was a there was a night where we actually had to shut off all of our lights because we had these like giant towers with these 18K lights just blasting for moonlight and stuff. And we had to go completely dark for about an hour or so because a storm rolled in and we were afraid of lightning strikes.
Yeah.
So we were just standing in the middle of this forest. Now it's certainly pitch black, and we're like, now what? And so
Oh man.
it was certainly creepy. And when you can't see out there and everything, you kind of just, I mean, you get used to being out in the woods overall, but eventually it's like I look and I'm like, oh, I'm getting like critters are crawling on me
Oof.
here, like spiders and stuff. I'm like, oh, great. Thankfully, I'm not bothered by spiders, but I was certainly on the lookout for snakes and bears
Yeah.
and stuff, which were supposed to roam the area, but we didn't see any,
Mm.
despite what we claim in the movie. Um, but I was like, that would be our luck if we just run into a bear on this shoot. That would just suck. But no, I think we just had great numbers. Or we had a, a large size, a large crew. So whatever critters or other things probably kept away from us because of that.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I never really think about that kind of stuff when I'm watching the movie. Like, what kind of unexpected visitors did you have on the set in the wild, right? Do you
Yeah.
know the show Shrinking? It's an Apple TV
Mhm.
Plus show. So that films at a park near me. But there's all these like wild green parrots that live in Pasadena, and
Oh
they're
yeah.
very loud. So I found out the way they get around it, so they don't have that noise, in all their shots at the park, is they have a hawk on set. It's like a trained hawk, and I think it just sits there. I don't even think it like flies around or anything. And the parrots know, oh, there's a hawk at that park, so we won't go there. Isn't that fascinating?
That's amazing. Who would have ever thought to think of that? That's amazing.
Yeah, I know. I just found that out like a few months ago, and I was like, wow. So now it's like, when you're filming in the woods, you never know what you're gonna run into. But that's, yeah, fascinating.
Yeah, no wolves, no real bears. All the critters in our film are faked very well, I might add. We had a few dummy deer and things like that, but
Mhm.
um, I think we might have seen a couple of deer like running around, but I don't think nothing that was ever like an issue or anything like that. We just dealt with other other things, just more so the elements and the
Yeah.
weather and stuff.
Oh well. Before we go, I do have to ask, who is your favorite slasher?
Oh, that's a great question. Favorite slasher.
I know it's a tough
It's
one.
it's it's kind of like a toss up between Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger. I give points to Freddy Krueger for inventive and creative kills. Um, but Michael Myers, I don't know. I think the mythology around Michael Myers and everything, and just how creepy and everything. I mean, I watch Halloween every year, so I still love Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, they're pretty close. I
Yeah.
would say like a tie between Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger for sure.
Yeah.
Which,
They're
which
also
yeah, I
awesome.
mean, and one of the critics actually gave us a review, and they called Randy Couture's a is Michael Myers with a bow and arrow. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. That really meant a lot. So I'm like, that's
Yeah.
great to hear.
Yeah, that there is no higher honor. And honestly, now we're one step closer to making him a horror icon.
I'm trying, man. I'm really trying. So
It's
I
gonna
hope
happen. It's gonna
everybody
happen.
goes to see it and loves it and hope they want more. And I tell you, Pitfall 1 is really great. There's a lot of great brutal stuff in it. Enjoy. But Pitfall 2, if it comes about, you haven't seen anything yet. There's a lot
Ooh,
more where that came from. And I'm very,
nice.
very excited to get to do it if we get to do it. So
Yes, fingers crossed.
go see Pitfall so we can do Pitfall 2. Pitfall.
Yes. James, I could stay here all day and talk about Pitfall and how fun it is, and the incredible cast and all the brutal kills. But in the meantime, where's a good place for people to follow you and keep up with all your other upcoming projects and appearances and all the stuff you have leading up to the release of the film?
So definitely follow us on Instagram at Pitfall Movie. And we have a website, www.pitfall-movie.com. And then we're on TikTok, Facebook as well, and I think Reddit. But you can follow me personally at James Kondelik, Kondelik on Instagram. I'm not many of us Kondeliks are on Instagram. I'm very easy to find, but you can you can find me pretty easily. But
Awesome.
yeah, certainly check it out May 29th, only in theaters, and hope you guys enjoy.
Yes, everybody go check it out. And if you can, go to Slasher World on Sunday, May 24th from 1 to 5. And everyone enjoy Pitfall. And thank you again, James. I hope you have a
Thank
great
you.
rest of your day.
You too. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.